it's looking increasingly likely that Anthony Joshua's next fight will not be on April 13th at Wembley Stadium, and that Wembley date could be scrapped completely, and instead Anthony Joshua will make his US debut against Jarrell Miller, probably in New York City. Now, this is assuming that Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, or Dillian Whyte don't take Anthony Joshua up on the April 13th date at the last minute. If they don't, Joshua versus Miller is a fight I actually like. It's a fight I would rather see than the Dillian Whyte rematch. I would definitely rather see AJ versus Fury or Wilder than AJ versus Miller, but to me this is still very interesting. I know a lot of people are dismissive of Miller. They say he's stationary, he stands right in front of you, AJ's going to have a field day, etc., etc. People saying he's absolutely tailor-made for AJ. I can see what they're saying, but I think AJ having such an easy night as people are expecting against Miller is predicated on AJ being able to hurt Miller, get his respect, and therefore prevent Miller from walking him down. But what I'm saying is, if Miller's able to take AJ's shots, or even if he's able to block AJ's shots and still feel confident enough to walk AJ down, I think AJ is going to have an extremely tough night. And it wouldn't shock me in the slightest if Jarrell Miller was able to pull off the upset. It wouldn't shock me at all. Because I don't think AJ has the stamina of a Jarrell Miller. I think he hits a lot harder. I think he's a lot more tidy a fighter. But Miller has stamina. He's an extremely big man. I think he's very physically strong. I wonder how AJ would react being in there against somebody who's probably physically stronger than him. Someone who's able to bully him and ragdoll him in the ring. How would AJ react to that? I don't know. But I want to find out. But again, this is assuming Jarrell Miller can either take AJ's power or can block AJ's shots and still feel confident enough to walk him down the way he walked down Gerald Washington, the way he walked down Johan Duopat, the way he walked down Marius Wack. I know these guys are nowhere near the level of an AJ. They're not as fast as AJ. They're not as good as he is. They don't hit as hard as he does. So there is a lot of ifs here. But that's part of the excitement of boxing, is finding out the truth behind the ifs. You have so many questions. You want the answers to the questions. This is where excitement lies in a fight, is when there's a bunch of questions surrounding the outcome. And for me, there is questions. Because, well, I've just told you, if Miller can take AJ's shots, I don't know how AJ copes with the pressure and the physical strength of Jarrell Miller. I don't think AJ has great stamina. I'm not saying he's got the worst stamina I've ever seen in a heavyweight. He doesn't. But I don't think he has great stamina. I think he's someone who is gradually learning how to pace himself in a fight. Gradually learning that as a very big man, a very heavily muscled heavyweight, he's not going to be able to fight 3 minutes of every round, and a big burst of punches from AJ, a big combination, can wipe him out for a whole round. He can take a whole round or a round and a half to actually gain his energy back just from one big burst. I mean, you look at the 5th round against Vladimir Klitschko. He unloaded on Klitschko, dropped him, and after the follow-up, AJ was knackered. And I know anxiousness and the pressure of the event may have contributed to him tiring as badly as he did, but I still don't think AJ is going to have amazing stamina, even if he's totally relaxed. Just because of the way he's built, the amount of muscle he carries, etc. So yeah, I'll be interested to see the Jarrell Miller fight, and to me, it's the most interesting fight outside of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fighting AJ. So yeah, I can't be mad at it. I think it's interest, and it's also going to be interesting in terms of the press conferences, because Jarrell Miller appears to have absolutely no respect for Anthony Joshua at all. He's bad-mouthing him. He's talking about his mum. He's calling him a Playboy model doing centerfold poses and G-strings and all this, all this stuff, which I personally find pretty funny. We'll see how AJ reacts to that. Will Miller get under his skin? Will this light a fire underneath AJ and bring out the most vicious performance we've ever seen from him? Also, how well will AJ travel? AJ fought overseas as an amateur and he acquitted himself very well overseas. I've spoken many times about how he fought in the World Amateur Championships. Was it World Championships or World Games? Whatever they call it, in Azerbaijan. And that was overseas. He fought Jarrell in that tournament, beat Jarrell, made it all the way to the final and only lost by 1 point in the final against an Azerbaijani boxer in front of the Azerbaijani president. So if you're only losing by 1 point to the hometown fighter in front of his president, then you really only lost by 1 point, or you actually won. That's the reality. So AJ was absolutely fine in there fighting overseas as an amateur. There was no issues of him freezing or the occasion getting to him. And that was back when AJ was very inexperienced as an amateur and he was going in fighting the best amateurs in the world who had hundreds of fights under their belt. AJ only had, 20 odd, 30 odd fights at the time. So he traveled well as an amateur. Will he travel well as a pro? The United States is a different kind of environment. He's out of his comfort zone. There's a lot of hostility towards AJ in the United States. And, one thing I have wondered about is how many Anthony Joshua how many Anthony Joshua fans would actually follow him over to the United States to watch him against the Jarrell Miller? Would it be a pro Miller crowd? Would it be a pro AJ crowd? You see, Anthony Joshua is the most popular fighter in the UK right now. But his fan base, I don't think, from what I've seen, they're not as passionate and they're not as dedicated as the fan bases of some other fighters. You see, Tyson Fury doesn't have as many fans as Joshua has in the UK, but Tyson Fury's fans are a lot more passionate. They're a lot more fanatical. All right. Obviously, fan is an abbreviation of fanatic. Tyson Fury's supporters are far more fanatical than AJ's supporters are. It's a different demographic. AJ's supporters, I'm sure he has supporters of all races and all ages and all different, from all different economic and class backgrounds. But generally speaking, my observation of Anthony Joshua's fan base compared to, let's say, a Fury fan base is Joshua's fan base is slightly more middle class, slightly more female than Tyson Fury's is, slightly more, I don't want to sound disrespectful when I say this, but I think a lot of Anthony Joshua fans are kind of glory hunter type people who are attracted to the hype surrounding Joshua. They want to associate themselves with the hype. They don't really love him as a person. They just love the hype that surrounds him, if that makes sense. So I do see a lot of AJ fans as kind of glory hunters. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them, I think they're kind of glory hunters. And if it wasn't AJ at the top, they'd be supporting someone else in his position. Do you understand? It's not him specifically who they like. It's not like they connect with AJ and they think he's a great guy and salt of the earth and man of the people, and he reminds them of their brother or he reminds them of their best friend at school. I don't think AJ's that kind of fighter. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, among the working class, mainly working class people who support him, a lot of them do see him as, he reminds me of someone I know. I feel like I know him. He talks about the depression. I've been through that, blah, blah, blah. I think the people who support Fury genuinely feel like they have a connection with him, even though they don't really, all right? They don't know him personally, most of them, but they feel like they do. And because of that, it was the same with Ricky Hatton. People felt like they knew Ricky Hatton. They felt like this is someone who I could go for a drink with at the pub, And I think they get that same kind of vibe from Tyson Fury. And because of that, they're willing to go to the ends of the earth for him. A lot of his fans, because they feel like they know him. With Anthony Joshua, I don't think most of his fans are that dedicated. I think they're more fair weather fans, the AJ fans, most of them. And I don't think a lot of them would travel. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going to be totally shocked if Anthony Joshua fights Jarrell Miller. But I'd be surprised to see an overwhelmingly pro AJ crowd if he fights Jarrell Miller at the Barclays Center. I wouldn't be surprised if AJ comes to the ring to a chorus of boos. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this potential fight, which does seem to be, at this point, the most likely for AJ next. That the Wembley date will be scrapped and AJ will fight Miller. Just to go over it again, I personally think it's an interesting fight. Do I expect AJ to win? Well, he's going to be the favorite, and I think rightly so. But unlike most people, I don't count Miller out, although, I think we'll find out fairly early if Miller's got any chance. Within the first 2 rounds, I think we're going to find out whether Miller has got a chance in the fight, and it will be based upon how aggressive Miller is after the first 2 rounds. Because if he's as aggressive as he normally is, then that means he is able to take AJ's power, no problem, and apply pressure, or he's able to block it, no problem, and apply pressure. But if he's standing off, if he's been hurt or wobbled and he's standing off and not really attacking the way that we normally see him, then maybe it will turn out to be as easy for AJ as a lot of people are predicting. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out.
Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.